Mm.
And we are live. I'm just going to share this out before I make any announcements and that sort of thing. As you can see, really, Dan's not with us this evening. Um, Dan's got migraine and he is pretty bad. So we wish you a speedy recovery, Dan.
Daniel.
And yes, and we will catch up with you later in the week. Hopefully, it'll be okay for Simply Spooky tomorrow. But who knows with Dan? You might get another dose of Jamie. Jamie's gladly stepped in to help out tonight. So thank you for coming, Jamie.
No,
I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
I'm just going to share this out to my page. Ah, God, what a week it's been.
Yeah, tell
Shall
me
we
about it with the high winds.
shall we start with the storms?
Yeah, we can do, yeah.
So how was it for you? How was Storm Eunice for you? Was she a biatch or
Yeah,
was
she
it
was,
okay?
it was horrible to be fair. So Friday, the storm started around about 11 o'clock. We were still at work. Um, we was told by one of our managers to finish off what we was doing in round about 11 o'clock.
Hmm.
Um, because it's just going to be, especially on a golf course, it's open, it's got loads of trees, so it
Yeah.
wasn't, but it's going to be dangerous, you know. So um, yeah, so it was okay, you know. We finished up what we had to do and had a cup of tea, and then the wind started at 11 o'clock as they predicted. Well, I normally bike to work, so I got a lift with one of the lads. He said, "All right, Jay, you're not biking," so I would have still been there. So, yeah, I was. So I got a lift home, and then got everything sorted, and I went out, um, and then we had a power cut. So
Oh
from
God.
4 o'clock till 4 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
Right through till Saturday afternoon a.m. So yeah, so without a phone is, well, all I had was my vape, which was, I'm glad I did that at work before I went, before I went home. Um, and yeah, so it was all I had was the dog really to keep me company. But all the aftermath of the storm, we had one, two, three, four trees down.
Yeah.
We cleared one up yesterday, which was a willow tree. So on the golf course where I work, we've got cricket bat willow. So we've got
Yeah.
two owners. One owns half the golf course. One owns the back end of the golf course.
Yeah.
Most of our trees are cricket bat willow.
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they have to be a certain size around the trunk, and then they can be harvested. So we've had, I think it was 2 years ago, we had 112 trees harvested.
Yeah.
So they can be sold. That will be made for cricket bats, and then plant a new one planted for the next 25 years.
Hi, Chantel.
Hello.
I'm sorry you
Um,
got no Dan today. You got this handsome gentleman instead.
so yeah, so that was the aftermath really, and all the sticks and willows are quite. If they were still in leaf, they've got really like boat shaped leaves. So even putting it through one of our big blowers, it sticks to the grass. They don't like shoot out properly.
Did you
So
did you
it
lose
was
many trees? Did you lose many?
four,
Wow.
and one of them was a big willow. I wish I took some pictures, but I just didn't think that was dead anyway. It had an X on it because it was coming out. It didn't have a number.
Yeah.
So the X is obviously bad. A number is the next, so that's the next one coming out to go in to be produced as a cricket bat.
Do you, do
So
you do you think like we had all these high winds and we lost electric and things like that. Do you think that that could have stirred up the spirits or the spiritual world, if you like? Do you think that while we were all panicking about not noticing that we had the lights on, we missed out the fact that the spirits were actually more active on Tuesday and Thursday. Do you think that because nobody's looking at spirits with all that going
We're
on?
not doing anything, are you, really?
No, I mean,
me personally, I think with all the energy and power, like the wind, the wind was up to some places 80 miles an hour.
yeah.
I think it was like it was just a whirlwind for them. It was just there to play.
Something different about you today, Dan. He's got younger.
It's good
very
looking.
quickly.
I've got that grey beard. I've got
he might be watching. Shh. I doubt it with his migraine, bless him.
But no, I think from a spiritual, I think it would have been. I think it would have been quite good to go out if it was quite safe to do so. Because everything going on, the atmospheric pressure as well.
It was good, wasn't it? All the planes rocking.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was. They would have had if it was able to go out investigating. I think that would have been quite interesting. Like they say in a thunderstorm, don't they? If you go out and investigate, if it's a thunderstorm coming, it's you're going to get some good stuff.
I did have, I must admit, because I was quite lucky, even though it was very windy.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday, I had the electrics went out just for a couple of minutes though. But on Thursday, both cats were bothered by it, so they sat downstairs with me. And while all that wind was going on and it was blowing a hoolie outside, we had in this house, and bear in mind it was just me and my two cats at home.
Yep.
We had footsteps upstairs walking from bedroom to bedroom. And I do hear them every so often, but they were not just concentrated in one area, they were going from room to room. And there was nobody else in the house. And I had both cats sitting with me because they were both terrified.
Were they loud?
Yes.
Were the footsteps loud?
Yes. Yeah. When you hear the activity in this house,
yeah.
When you walk upstairs, because we've got like polished boards upstairs, you could hear the footsteps and the floorboards creaking. So it was quite interesting to listen to that while the cats were sort of wanting to be with me. I just ignored it and carried on watching the TV because I thought that I'm not going to react to it. But it was quite active while that was happening on Thursday. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we just had the wind. So I don't know if the wind can do something. I don't know. I have no idea.
I've never done it. I've never done an investigation in the wind. So I can't really tell. I can't really say much about that, to be fair.
The only exciting thing that really, really, really did happen was, as you know, I don't smoke in the house. I have to go outside. No. And I think it was yesterday I went outside to have a cigarette and actually burnt a big chunk of my hair. So
really?
That was the only exciting thing that happened to me in all these gales. But
should have stayed on your vape.
Well, I vape indoors and I smoke outside. Yeah. So that was the only exciting thing for me, and I smelled.
That'll teach you.
Well, needs must and all that.
Yeah.
So, shall we talk about places in Essex that are quite haunted? Because Essex is a very old county, and people don't realise how old that is. It goes back Roman. It was the centre of. It was our capital, Colchester, at one point.
Colchester, wasn't it, with the castle? Yeah.
Have you been to Colchester and seen the castle? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I've been to the castle. My grandparents, so my dad's mum and dad, as people might know, that Colchester's got an army base.
Yes.
That was Granddad's last posting from up north, so from Liverpool. They've been round from Devon to Germany to Hong Kong. They did quite a while, and his last posting was Colchester. So growing up in Colchester, yeah, you know, you go to the school trips with, you know, going to have a look when you're doing Romans. So you go through the castle.
Yeah.
Quite interesting as you go through the gates. You got that old well, and you can
Yes.
chuck pennies and that down into the well and count how long does it hit until it hits the bottom. And there's some, I reckon it's very hot. I've heard it's quite haunted there. I haven't physically been on an investigation there, but just the surroundings, and as the castle's sunk in the ground and it's got the old moat, and I think putting it down, I think it is quite haunted. You know,
I did an investigation there about 11 years ago. That was the first time I heard of Colchester Castle, to be fair. And I was impressed with the Undercroft, and some of that was Norman built. It goes back quite a way. Didn't get anything though. I mean, I heard the stories about somebody being executed just outside in Colchester, and that was quite interesting. Got a little bit of activity outside, but it's a beautiful. Yeah. And the grounds are. I must say, before we go any further, the gardeners at Colchester Castle are amazing.
They do wonders, don't they?
Carve the hedges into well, the last time I was there, it was a beautiful dragon, and the flower arrangements and everything that they have there, it is just amazing.
I think when the 100 years of the First World War, they did a tank.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I think I've got the pictures somewhere, I'll send them over to you. But yeah, they carved a tank out the hedge, but it was good.
But there's a lot of paranormal places that even investigators go to in and around Essex, and I'm going to mention another one called RAF Ridgewell.
Yes.
There's a lot of army bases and American air bases, or that America had commandeered during the Second World War, in and around Essex. And Ridgewell is one that you've been to and I've been to.
I've been there quite a few times, yeah.
Yeah. So RAF Ridgewell, I mean, it was an American air base. Am I wrong? Was that right? Was it an American?
Yes, it was a B-17 381 bomb group, a heavy bomb group. When the Americans left, it come back as an RAF base, but with Sterling's bombers.
Yeah.
So, the Americans left it for the British, and then they still used it. Excuse me, until the war was kind of over.
And now they had some interesting entertainers come over to Ridgewell that actually visited Ridgewell, and I believe Glenn Miller was one of them, wasn't it? Do you know about that?
Don't quote me. I think so. I'm not too sure, but I could find out and let you know.
Yeah, that I heard that there was a few wartime entertainers that came over to see the American troops, because they were very much in action, weren't they? And there was even planes that were lost on the way back to Ridgewell. And I know that it's very, very haunted. Do you know anything about the hauntings there, Jamie?
When I've been, we got quite a bit on the baseball field.
Yes.
When you go past the Nissen huts and then go through the gate, and you go on the concrete road, like the concrete path, and I think it's on the left-hand side, you got where they used to play baseball, and you can hear bats, bat and ball. Yeah. You can hear talking. Even smoke. Most of them smoked.
Yeah.
When you go into Ridgewell, into the gates, I always, even when I go to the museum, I still get a MP police in the white his white hat, all dressed. Well, he was still in his uniform, but he doesn't come like forward. I know he's there because I've seen him, but he won't talk. He will just keep his guard kind of thing. He's not one of them that will come forward and have a chat with you, and he's always in the corner, but you know he's there, if you know what I mean, because his presence is just there. You know when you get that sense that you're getting watched.
I noticed that when I was there, we found an old Nissan hut that was sort of ramshackled and forgotten about, and managed to get inside of it. And there were some amazing pictures taken. Not quite sure what it is, but you definitely see a pair of human eyes. It was when we were walking back and there was no wind. And this is what a spirit, they crack me up, because they know that you are going to, excuse the pun, but shit your pants. And when we were walking back, there was no wind. It was a clear, warm night. And it was as though somebody was standing in the bushes. And as we sort of came by the bushes, they shook quite violently. Now, we ran to the bush and we checked the birds, animals, or whatever. There was nothing there. When we were walking away from it, it shook violently again, as if to say, now pee off, go on. Now,
go away kind of thing, yeah.
So it's quite a fun place to investigate. It's not just all heavy going, No, you can have fun with the spirits there. I think believe.
It, like going to them places as well. It's really interesting on the background that the Americans were there. It's more fact that if you pick up on old people like pilots or any of the armed forces, you can relate to the people in the museum. You give the dates or names and that, they can go, well, they were on this craft.
Yeah, they can validate it there and then, can't they?
It's quite. I find that's quite interesting for myself and for the music, like for the museum as well. It's not just going on to a ghost hunt there.
Yeah, because they have all the records on hand, don't they? Yeah. So they can just pull it out quick and come back.
But no, that's another one out of Essex is up near is Rougham.
Yes, it's more sort of Suffolk way. Yeah.
I think that's 95 bomb group as well, isn't it?
Hang on, Chantel's just said something. Shitty our pants worthy to be. Yes, Chantel, we are going to be doing something special with you when you come to England. So you might want to put on your paranormal pants on when you
always put mine on.
just pack them ready when you come to the UK. That's all I can say, Chantel. We will be speaking to you privately about that. But yeah, Rougham's another place which is it is an air base. It was an American air base, but it was always all owned by the British. It was an RAF station initially, wasn't it? So, and they had a big, what's the word? A big, when they handed it back to the British, there was a big sort of festival or something that went on. Ceremony, yeah. So, that's kind of, okay. It's okay. I'm bringing my big girl panties. Good. And you'll need them, but we're going to take you. Hopefully Jamie will come and he will be there to assist as well.
Yep.
So where was we? So let's get back to Essex. So there's a couple of forts in Essex, one of which is very popular with ghost hunts, is Redoubt Fort. Yes.
Yeah.
So what did you think of that place then at Redoubt Fort?
I thought it was like a maze. It was, you'd think you go back and you think you look over the edge, and it's just like a 50 people. It's like an octagon, isn't it? And you think how could people like work there? Because you just get lost. Because it looks the same, doesn't it?
Oh, you're not talking of Landguard, are you? Yeah, the
no, Redoubt Fort in. No,
Harwich.
I'm talking the Harwich one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what do you think about Redoubt Fort being done over and over and over? Like every weekend, there's a paranormal team in there, and it has been like that for years. Do you think that spoils what's going on there, paranormal wise, or do you think it just adds to it?
Because I think they do it as a business as well, don't they? Or I don't know. They just don't give it a rest. I know we're going off sort, but it's like going to a fishing lake where it's been fished and fished and fished. Do you know, it's the same thing. You know,
See,
it's not.
I went there in 2010, and while I was there, I got locked in a room, and we were locked in for a good 45 minutes. We couldn't get out of this room. Now there are no locks with keys in this.
Oh, really?
The door shut, and we were locked in. And there was 3 of us in there, and nobody was coming to get us. We didn't have a walkie-talkie in those days, nothing. And it was at the point where we were going to break a window to be able to get out.
Wow.
And yeah, at that point...
It wasn't one of the rooms near the prison, was it, where they kept the prisoners?
No, it's the other side.
The other side.
Yeah, and it was only when we were about to smash the window, the door just opened itself. It was just...
Wow.
And that happened in 2010. But since then, we have never, ever had activity like that. And I'm wondering if it's because of these other groups. Is it because it's too busy?
I think it's too busy. You don't know what other groups are like doing themselves. You know, we got some really weird stuff in the prisons because you've got the old graffiti still on the walls, haven't you?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
One of them, we got quite a few bit of activity and out on the landing a little bit.
Yeah,
but that was pretty much it. That was it. We didn't really get much, like you say, because I think it's just overused.
I mean, in the past we had people crying out when they're doing their drills. We've heard fire in the hole on a video camera upstairs. We've actually captured the woman singing. There was a woman singing up above.
Yeah.
And it was the scouts and the Cubs used to camp in the middle, in their tents and things.
Yeah.
And they said to thank the lady for the singing because they thought it was lovely. And they said there's no lady that's there that sings.
Wow.
No. And we actually managed to get a little bit of her on a voice recorder singing.
Yeah.
Because they all follow a false lead, which is this drummer boy and all that. It's nothing like that. In the cells, we managed to capture, and this was absolutely amazing. In the cell with us, we caught a dog barking. Now, we couldn't hear it with our own ears, but we got a dog barking, and it was like it was in the room with us. We couldn't possibly begin to explain that. But going back since over the years, like it just seems to have faded away. I don't know whether it's because they feel they have to perform. I mean, we never ask anyone to perform. I mean, to get that dog was just by sheer luck.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. We will never know. I think with paranormal getting more and more popular, we'll never be able to stop groups from going in and overburdening it. But are they? I don't know. I mean, are they just adding to the energy? Are they giving it a bit more sort of battery life? Do you think?
Yeah.
So I can show you that I am coming to bed. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad thing, you know.
Yeah. That's a good shout, actually.
Yeah. I know that Ruffham have now stopped investigations during the summer months. So you can only investigate during the winter months.
That's because they're busy, isn't it, through what they've got on through the summer period, yeah.
So, but other people, especially after the pandemic, it's a way of these venues and places to make extra money. Yeah. So some places are relying on the ghost hunters to come hire their venues just to make ends meet. So it's a bit catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Jamie, what other places in and around Essex have you been to that have been fantastic for you?
Like I said, Ridgewell. I've been to Bourne Mill in Colchester.
Oh yes, Bourne Mill.
That's really nice.
How was that? How was that for activity?
It was. I've only been there once, but the old group went 2 or 3 times. And it's a house. The monks had it, and it's got a massive pond out the front.
Yeah.
Then like a house on the side of the pond, and it had they had a water mill as well inside.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a lot of activity in where the water mill, where the wheel is.
Yeah. So I'm
But
just going to put my switch my battery, put it on charge because I'm running out of juice. Don't you just hate that when your laptop does that?
Yeah.
Oh, we're okay. So did you get much activity in the house, or?
I not in the house. I personally didn't. It was more outside and
Outside.
Under where the mill is,
The
where the water
water,
flows. Yeah,
like
got a lot.
Chantel says, yeah, she
I
says
got a lot
that
there.
the water also increases activity, doesn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, we did that. Other places in cultures in Coggeshall.
Yes.
But we did the Grange Barn with yourself and done it a few times with yourself and the
So
old
this
group.
Grange Barn, I'm going to talk about this Grange Barn when the door slammed.
Oh yeah,
big barn, and basically, to cut long story short, there was an outhouse building which was housed as a workshop with tools in it, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Very old historic tools, and we were across the way in the barn, and somebody said in the workshop, I'm going to steal your tools and set the building on fire. And we didn't know that this group were in there saying that. And what was with us, literally opened the barn door, slammed it shut. And the next thing you know, they're getting activity in this workshop.
In the workshop, yeah.
The way that this spirit, whatever it was quite interactive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Like what the other people were saying. It's like he could hear it. Whatever, well, we're presuming it was a he, but we're presuming that
with the energy that it had,
he could hear what they were saying in another building, like he was watching us but keeping an ear out on them. And when he heard that, it's like, I'm going there and I'm going to tell them no. So he slammed the door, opened the door, slammed it shut, and then, because we sort of ran to the door, didn't we? Got our big boys and girls pants on and went to the door to see how did that happen. Yeah. And then it was them that were all screaming on the walkies saying, oh my God. And it was quite funny. So, yeah, it was... So spirits use water as a conduit. Maybe investigate your drinks of water, not just go pee all night. Yeah. Yeah. But no, that was quite funny. I mean, I've always said, be careful what you ask for, because when it happens, don't complain. They asked for that.
They asked for that, so they got what they got deserved.
Yeah, and then they were saying, well, why are you scared? Because you asked for it, you got it.
Well, yeah, you got it, didn't you? Where else? Bradwell-on-Sea.
Yes, let's talk about that
little church.
What do you know about that church, Jamie?
I know it's very old. I think it's from the Celtic, or is it Celts? Celts. I only know a little bit from when they used to use it from the Second World War. It was kind of their pinpoint to go to Bradwell, RAF Bradwell. So RAF Bradwell was an airfield that if anyone was damaged, like Spitfires and Mosquitoes and stuff like that, anyone could use it, and that's where they could land to get help. Yeah. My experience there with Tony, we had we got a picture from there up in where the stained glass window is.
Yeah.
In there. Then people were calling out. It was like a crisp packet, like situation. We was talking. We had a crisp packet on there, but I think it was full, or it was like flat. It was empty crisp packet, but it was on a high stool.
Yeah.
And we was talking. Tony got a massive whiff of aviation fuel.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And then we was asking out, and the crisp packet, you know, when you scrunch a crisp packet,
Yeah.
and it stays there, and it gradually goes. It goes
slowly.
It goes, and it slowly goes like back to flat.
Yeah.
Where it just crunched up
on its own.
On its own, and it didn't. You know, we wish we had. You know, when you say, "Oh, I wish I had my camera." Well, that's when you wish you had something there looking at it.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
I'm obsessed with tornadoes. I'm going to go storm chasing you, so, but I'm pretty sure if one ever does come towards me crying for my mummy, same for paranormal stuff, I guess. Oh, tornadoes, no.
No, thank you.
Just no. After what I've experienced, no. The wind can stay away.
Yeah, especially
all
after
all forms of wind, including human wind. Stay away.
And then we had I think there's a campsite behind it. I think they're, don't know, some religion. And then they started singing and doing what they did. But once they left, the atmosphere changed.
Was it calmer?
Yes, it was a lot. It was flat. It was quite hard to get the spirit back, if you know what I mean. Yeah, they come in like with masses and masses of. You could feed off their energy.
Yeah.
Because it was that they were quite powerful people, but once they left, it was just like it just flat calm. Like I was looking at like a millpool in the sea. They didn't.
So do you think whatever was there was telling you that it didn't want you there, and it sort of tried to do all of that just to say, look, be respectful, kind of. I don't think so. I think now looking at it, when either they were crying out for help or like wanted to talk, or they needed a hand somewhere, but they couldn't do it themselves. So this stage where I was kind of in between. If I had it, I could hear him, I could see him, as you know. But I was just in that stage of training, if you know. So it was all a blur for me. Yeah.
So I didn't really understand what was going on, but now
knowing
I'm
what you know,
going what I know. You do think back and say, well, actually, are they helping, or do they need help, or it was in between. You're not too sure.
So for people that don't know, I better tell them, Jamie, that you are a spiritualist medium. And I've just noticed I've still got spooky alien Viv on my thing. that was a joke from Friday, but anyway. Jamie's a spiritualist medium, and you're also a paranormal investigator. So, Jamie, I'm going to ask you this question, which is a hard one. When you go out investigating, just a normal investigation, not somebody's house, not anybody that needs help, what do you prefer to use? Paranormal or spiritual? Like, how would you like to sort of connect with the ghosts? I mean, do you like to use equipment and try and prove it, or spiritual and have that conversation?
When I first started going into paranormal, I was quite skeptic, because if you don't see it, you don't. You know what I mean? I think if you can't. If you go to an investigation where we've got loads of activity, well, actually it could be the boiler.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not there to go and tell someone this place is haunted. I'm there. I'm the other reason. Well, it can't be this, and this. It's got to be that, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I would say I prefer to use equipment, but 30% of that I like to use a bit of
Spiritual.
you know what, you know,
Yeah.
can't get my words out. But yeah, I would like to say the 30% to use my guide.
Terry says he likes to go with feelings at gut backed up. Oh, feelings at gut and backed up with equipment.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the 30% I'd like to use my guide because I know that he's 100%. But with the equipment, I know that's dead accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it's in between. What would you prefer?
For me, Terry will know about this. If I'm helping a family or if I'm helping a person, I go with Vivian, the medium.
Yes.
And to see what the problems are, to see if, you know, I can get, before speaking to them, I can get what's going on, why it's going on, and how do we stop the problem.
Yeah.
If now it's not a problem and I'm just doing an investigation, it is equipment 100% all the way. And the reason I do that is because I link in with my guides and I say to them, right, what room should I be in? And what piece of equipment am I taking? And I normally get, you need to be at the room at the top of the stairs on the left-hand side or whatever. Take your camera and take as many photographs as you can get. And out of all those hundreds of pictures that I take, I'll get about one that will really stand out.
Well, look at the pictures on Simply Spooky, not last week, the week before.
Yeah.
So
and that's just what I call paranormal investigating with a cheat. So it's just like trying to sort of prove that they're there in the first place. So my guide will make the connection. My guide will go and find out where they're going to be, and he normally, he's pretty good. And it's not that he's mucking around or I'm demeaning spirits, nothing like that at all. My guide wants everyone to know about the afterlife. My guide wants to know that there is another dimension that we go to. My guide wants us to know that there is a heaven.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's why he does that. And I love my guide. He's nothing big. He's nothing fancy. He's nothing spectacular like some mediums have.
Yeah.
He's just a very old man, you know.
I was going to say, who, like, people won't know, but what is your guide? What is his?
Well, I always thought he was a Crow Indian, but it's transpiring now and it's coming out that I've been hearing it wrong. He's not Crow. He's actually Cree.
Cree.
Cree, and he wears bear skins, and he was an elder. He was an elder of a tribe.
Oh, okay,
So he wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a chief or anything like that. He had no lovely white stallion and, you know, fighting the white man. Nothing like that.
No.
He was what I call a boring elder, you know, but I love him. I wouldn't change him for the world, you know. He's great. But yeah, he does tell me off, which I know that you get told off, Jamie.
I get told off all the time by yourself and him.
Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Oh, she's lovely, isn't she? So your guide, I want to just quickly touch on your guide because you've been working with your guide for quite a while now. Who is your guide and what does he do? What can you tell us? Just to be nosy.
Just to be nosy. Well, how it all started off, we was up in Liverpool seeing family. At the Albert Docks. It's quite obviously famous with the Beatles and stuff.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we was outside the Beatles Museum, and then we went back to one of the oldest docks. It had an old clipper ship in. We didn't go on to the ship, but it had all the old sails and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go in the front room. There's a lot of... I can hear it. That's better. So yeah, so sorry, I'm just taking him on
That's
a
all
tour. But yeah, so the so it was a clipper ship. You couldn't go on it. Sorry, I'm just sorting myself out. That's better. So yeah, so so yeah, so he was a clipper ship. So he's an old Victorian. He was he's a cotton sailor.
Oh,
So
right, okay.
So he's taller than me, like everyone else.
Even I'm taller than you, Jamie.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He wears so like the old really like the trousers, like the pin. I don't know if it's like a tweed trouser.
Woolen? Could it be woolen?
It probably would be back in them days. I reckon. See, it's just there's no colour to it, like the suit.
Yeah,
All you can see is like the white shirt. It's got no collar. He wears like an old fashioned tie. So the collar, so the tie goes here, but there's no like collar that goes under. It's like a collar that sits up like this.
Yeah.
With a black tie, waistcoat, pocket watch. He's got a Trilby hat on, so like a quite taller hat.
Okay.
And he's got a cane with the gold, like the gold balls on there.
Oh, he's got a gold ball on his. Ooh,
yes.
He's of money then.
He's worth some money. So yeah, so he's quite well spoken as well.
Do you find that when you work with your guide, though, when you're out in the field and you're working with your guide, that I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you get that they sometimes boss you around when you're out on a ghost hunt, and if they come in, they tend to get a bit bossy and like having your dad around? Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? Get in there.
Well, put it in that respect. Last week when we went on that last investigation with you, I've never heard him call me boy.
Okay.
So I can recollect probably because he was in a very high job. He's still got that power.
Oh yes. I like a good pub.
So yeah, so he's got that worth. So he thinks because he's got loads of money, he thinks people without like myself is kind of he spoke to me like I was a pauper.
Right, yeah.
With with no value of money. Because he is quite high up in the food chain. It just didn't put it, but it doesn't bother me, he's quite funny. I know when he's there because I get a pain here where he puts his hat on top of here, across my head, or I can hear his cane.
Shall I tell you a secret? I'll tell you a secret about my guide. Don't tell everyone. He smokes weed. Or something like it. He get very high.
I suppose is he an Indian guide?
He's Canadian. He's actually from the Canada side.
Oh, okay.
So he's I'd call him a native. He's Canadian.
Native American, isn't he?
No, he's not from America. He's from Canada.
I don't know how that works, to be fair.
Well, I think the land was joined where it was.
Oh, right, okay.
He does talk about the explosions and the plates moving and things like that. But, he's he does get quite deep when I actually do work with him. But he's a modern man then. What gets me is my guide. I'm quite ever so lucky to have him. He'll smoke it through a pipe, a really rudely made pipe, and he'll make me sit down, and there'll be others there and they'll be passing the pipe, and then when it comes to me and you're supposed to take the pipe,
Yeah.
glares at me like he's my dad, like, you are not, you just pass it along, you know. And they do a thing where you hold a rattle, and if you have
Okay.
the rattle, you can talk. But after you've said your thing, you're supposed to pass it to the next person that wants to talk. So when this thing comes to me, it's like I get glared at, like, you're not going to talk, pass it on. Somebody else needs to talk, you know, and you need to listen. It is quite funny how he not treats me, because it's not badly treated. You know, I'm there to learn.
Yeah.
And I do
And
learn.
the same as me as well. He's not a bad chap.
No.
You know, he's just, you know, I think I always know that if I need him or want him, I know he's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, but no, he's a good old stick kind of thing. He's showed me the ways, if you know.
So let's get back to the paranormal then. So Essex, we were talking about the lovely county of Essex, which is quite big, let me say. It's one of the larger counties that we have over here. So out of all the places in Essex, think about this now. You can have a few minutes to think. I want you to pick one. Where has been your favourite? Why has it been your favourite? And do you think you'll go back there soon? And just in Essex alone? That's a real hard. That's a hard one, that is.
Really in question, because I had got one favourite. If I could do it tomorrow, then I'll go there tomorrow.
Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I reckon.
Terry could see Essex from his window, so he's a hop, skip, and a jump away.
I would say Ridgewell.
This was the Algonquin. I can't even pronounce that tribe. Canadian native tribe was. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll tell you, it's.
Yeah.
I've been wrong for so many years until he told me. But yeah, it's another story. So Ridgewell was your favourite. Sorry,
I think Ridgewell. Yeah. I don't know. I like the atmosphere. It's not in your face.
Okay.
You know,
what's
level?
Where's your jumping ahead quickly? Where is the place in Essex where you've had your most weirdest thing happen paranormally? The weirdest in Essex.
That was with you at Grange Barn.
Okay.
When we went out on the grounds.
Yeah.
And we was kind of stuck in a conifer hedge, wasn't it? I think it was raining, so we went back in the conifer hedge.
Yeah.
And that's when we both said that we're getting someone's watching us. I think that was the experience there, like with the door slamming, and I think that was quite jumpy.
Do you know where the most weirdest place for me was in Essex? And I'll stand by this, and I've experienced it once and I've never had it since.
Probably Redoubt Fort?
No, it was Landguard Fort. I had experienced a time slip there, and it's the only one I've ever experienced like that. I know Terry's been since to Landguard Fort and he was going to check it out, but
where is Landguard Fort?
Landguard Fort's is it Felixstowe?
Oh, so it's kind of the other side. It's the other side of Harwich, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see it across the water, can't you?
Yeah, it is one of the larger forts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very weird. There was 4 or 5 of us at the time that experienced that time slip. We were all together.
Was Dan there with you?
Oh, actually, it's not. It's not in Essex. It comes under Suffolk. I thought it was. I thought it was Essex, so I do stand corrected. No, Dan wasn't with me that time,
Right.
which is a shame. But poor Dan. We will be getting him out soon. Within the next couple of weeks, there is a Striking Midnight investigation that we're all very excited about. I think Friday we're having a Striking Midnight meeting. If people don't know, Jamie is part of Striking Midnight, and you will be seeing him on the show on YouTube this year. He'll be coming up
This year, yeah.
and we're doing a lot of filming with us with the Striking Midnight, so we look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it. Just not going to
Are
say
you
much,
worried?
but once this thing's sorted, and then it should be.
Are you,
I know where
are
I
you-
am.
are you worried about working with Dan?
No, I like I said, I haven't met Dan. All I've met Dan is through Striking Midnight, and that, you know, I've spoke to him on the phone, and I've spoke to him video chat across the network, you know. So I haven't met him in person.
You know, he does stitch you up. He's not here, so I am going to talk about him, bless him. You know, when things get really hairy and you want to leave, he's asking them to come closer. And a lot of swear words are used. And then he moans because you're swearing. And then he has to cut everything out. And then he said, all right, we'll just go on a live. And then on a live, he's telling you things to come forward and touch you when you don't want them to. He's a bugger.
It's only because he can't see him or see.
Hi, Von. Oh, she's lovely, Von is. He's a lovely puppy dog. I know he smells like one. Bless him. Have you done Beacon Hill, Fort Essex? I haven't.
Beacon Hill?
Have you, Jamie?
I haven't, no.
I wonder if it's any good, Jamie. Let us know. Have you done it?
I haven't, no. I haven't done it, no.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Oh, she's a sweetheart, isn't
In
she?
Scotland.
Okay, the new to you in Scotland. I can't do a Scottish accent, I'm afraid. He's a wind-up man. Wind-up man. Oh, my God. I tell you, the amount of heart attacks I've had because of that man. Oh, I don't know about big girl pants. I think I need spare pants every time I go back to it. Go out with him. I haven't. I know about it's in Harwich. Oh, right. Okay. We'll have to chat about that and let us know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So we have some very interesting places lined up. We can't wait to be getting back out. Dan has had the... Hi, William. It's my good friend, William. He has had the all clear on his foot and it has healed nicely. He is now out of one of those...
he broke it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's out of that cast now.
Yeah.
So he has been given the go-ahead to drive. So within a matter of weeks, we are heading out to do an investigation, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to. And I'm hoping that the weather... it is inside and outside, but I'm just hoping that the weather will stay on our side and not get too cold, because that's the last thing that Dan needs, really. So, yeah, we're looking forward to getting out again. I've got a sister that stays in Staffordshire, England. Yeah, Staffordshire's a beautiful place, beautiful part of the country.
Up north, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So
I think that's where Alton Towers is, Staffordshire.
It is.
Yes.
It is, and it's haunted. Steal some of your guide's weed and smoke it before going out with Dan. Then my bigger panties need a bib. Oh, God.
I will get you a recording of that.
Oh, dear. You would get no sense out of me. That's all I'm going to say. No sense at all. Oh, it is fun. Oh, do you know what? I can't wait to get him out again. Somerset is quite nice too. Your Somerset is absolutely gorgeous, and there are parts where William comes from that I know to be absolute beauty spots, full of history, full of hauntings.
Down in Somerset?
Full of magic and mayhem and mysticism. Absolutely wonderful. I love Somerset, but
Somerset, to me, isn't it a? I would pay to see that as well. To be fair,
Chantel, I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna tag you. I'll do it privately. I'll tag you to a live that was done on Striking Midnight, and you can see how bad Dan is. Really awful. Love Somerset. Yeah, Somerset's amazing. Tracy and Agnes Paranormal. Oh, I don't know them. Hi, Vaughn.
I will.
Vaughn's lovely, she is. Hi, Liz. Hi, Terry. So, do you want to say anything about Dan before we start winding up or anything? Because you can, you know. He's not here to defend himself.
No, it's just, I don't know. Like I say, I don't really know much of the bloke. I know he will wind you up to like a watch spring. But all in all, I think it's just a nice, lovely, gentle giant, isn't he?
When I'm out with Dan, I must admit, like Dan will tell you this as well. I mean, I'd get activity, quite lucky to be able to record it and to get proof. Dan said that he never got anything. He'd get the odd EVP, you know, but that was about it. When me and Dan are out investigating together, it seems like it all kicks off. Like
You
all
bounce
this
off
shit,
each other.
like all this shit happens, and some of it is not even very nice, you know. Honestly, I have never been so frightened before to see something like this. So scary. Dan actually bought me a statue to actually see something like this floating in a graveyard. Honestly, and there were 4 of them. Right, let me just tell you, there were 4 of them. No face, no scythe. In
Was that
rags.
what you saw?
Yeah.
Is that what
Dan
they are?
Well, Dan thought it'd be funny to buy me this for Christmas. Yeah, I know. What a bastard. That's all I can say. But, you know, and it's because, I don't know whether it's because of the energy that we have together. Maybe we're just at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I know when I'm with Dan, something's going to happen, and sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not so nice. But when
Did you get annoyed with him?
Oh, when they're not nice. Well, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, Liz says there are a lot of places that is active in England. Why do you think there's so many that are active right now? Is there a reason for it? Or have they always been active, but now we're looking for it?
I bet it's some haunted places in Scotland as well.
Yeah.
Their history as well.
Oh, God, yeah. Vom will watch this back. Yeah, don't tell Dan what we're saying about him. He's a little git when it comes to ghost hunting, honestly. He's so funny. But with not, you know, with a big heart, you know, not in a badly, you know. But, yeah. Yes, it does, William. And oh my God, when it decides to happen, nothing can prepare you. That's all I can say. These ghost hunters, and I know William will actually back me up on this. When these ghost hunters, they go out and they're calling out, and you know, nothing much is happening. They miss, or they're not looking for it. But when it does actually happen, they don't know what to do with it. This bloody thing, whatever you call it, was so shocking to see. And I say shocking, I wouldn't have minded if there was one, you know.
There was 4 of them.
There was 4 of them.
Wow.
And Dan is saying, can you come closer? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Don't ask it to come closer, because to me that's not human.
No.
And if I don't know what it is, I don't want to be messing with
How would I dealt with it?
You would have done the same as me.
Yeah.
Shit your pants.
I thought so.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. That's the only thing I can describe it as. Honestly, it's not good. I like to take photos. That's equipment. Yeah, I love taking photos. It's great. And I love sort of analysing them afterwards and putting them on software and having a look at them one by one before getting rid of them. Do you know what I mean? That's a passion of mine. It's because you bounce off each other and raise the energy. Could be. But sometimes that energy gets a bit out of hand, I must admit. Not us, but the energy that's around us. It's quite scary. When I watched the full story back, it was scary. Yeah.
I did. I thought it was funny at first.
Yeah, there is a reason. I know, and that's the thing, William. We don't know what the reason was. We were there with permission. I feel that there's a backstory to it, and the story needs to be told. But it's going to be years in the making, this story. But to see the 4 of these things, first of all, you think that what you're seeing in your peripheral's not real. And then when it stands right in front of you and it's staring at you face on, it's just like, whoa, no, yeah. At a distance, fine, but they were quite inquisitive of us. I don't feel that we were in any danger, but the fact that there was 4, and we have been back since. And we will continue with it, but we'll do it in a respectful way. But we're trying to sort of find the backstory first.
Yeah.
These people that think that they can steam in and demand to know what these things are, you're never going to get the answers.
You're not going to get it, are you? You're not going to get the answers, are you?
No, not at all. Not at all. So if the spirits want to come out, they will come. They will, and sometimes they don't. You can get them when they come out. And then you can get none sometimes. Yeah, that's true.
It's like fishing, isn't it?
Yeah. The idea of dementors are taken from real life experience and science. Yeah, there was a guy in America that was Dan found it, and I thought it was highly amusing. He was telling me about. No, he was investigating the barn on his property. There was a thing in the barn, and it really scary, and it was causing all these problems. And it really, really, excuse the pun, but it really shit him up. So he sent his wife in there with a camcorder because she don't believe in any of it. Oh, it's all a load of nonsense. And she actually got one of these things on camera. She managed to get it. Yeah, she managed to get it on camera. But it's the only one, apparently, according to Dan, that he's seen. And he's been trying to, just research. Has anyone managed to get any of these things on camera or photograph it or whatever, just so we know what we're dealing with? And it was only that one woman, and she didn't even know what she was filming. It was just a literally split-second thing. She actually got it.
Luckily she got it.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the paranormal investigator, because he was too scared and cowering in the kitchen while his wife was in the barn. That's like me. I ain't going, Dan, you go.
Go on, lad, you crack on, mate.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is, don't mess with it. That's my motto. But Jamie, I've got news for you. Dan has decided we are going back to the place where we saw these things.
Right, okay, yeah.
You will be going, so
we're going back, yeah.
We are going back, yes. So we've done an hour, Jamie.
I know, it's gone really quick, isn't it? You don't think?
I know.
It's talking about what people enjoy, though, isn't it? It's not, every time,
Have you got any fears or worries about the paranormal, Jamie? Have you got any?
I used to. When I first started out, as you know, you've investigated with me for a couple of times. At first, I would jump out my skin. Any footsteps, any noises, I'll be like, well, what's that? Now, as you saw on the last investigation we did, it's just like another thing, isn't it? We knew they were there. We knew what we were dealing with. But yeah, I just
William
see what you saw with Dan. I would.
He says that's the thing with ghost hunters. If they come against anything negative, they back away. From what I know from it, backing away from it is never an option. No, it definitely. I mean, no, it did worry me. we did back away, but not completely, because we've been back and we'll continue to go back.
Yeah.
But it will be on our terms, you know.
Yeah. I think seeing something that is very unusual that would put me in my place, kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
You
Do
know?
you know what my fear is?
Go on.
And it's not paranormal. It's not the supernatural world or the cryptids or anything like that. My worry is people. People are, and I don't mean this to sound horrible, and I say this with respect, but people can be so stupid in a lot of ways, and it's what people do to other people is my fear, and will bring the paranormal world crashing to its knees, basically, and make us just all look stupid. So Liz has a question. What is the scariest place you've investigated?
Probably investigation last year.
Which was?
One in Essex, 5 Corners.
Oh, the Fifth Corner, which is an oddities. What would you call it? A museum, oddities. An oddities museum.
Game fair, wasn't it? Most of it.
A what?
You know, like the big trophy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
And stuff.
The hunters, yeah.
Yeah.
And human body parts.
Yeah, I think that was.
Why was that scary for you?
Because it was quite weird. Not weird, but it was strange. Going in there and it's an instant energy. It was quick. It was in your face. You know, I've never experienced that. It was quite hard going, you know, with everything around you, what was going on with the energy and what was there. You know, I think it was quite intense. I have decided
since going there, I am going to buy a human skull.
You are?
Yes. But not just yet. Not just yet. It has to be the right one. But yeah, it's going to happen, but it will be under the right conditions, and I want to know the history of it. It needs to be an old medical piece before I will bomb. Yeah. So, but my scariest place I've investigated was the place I saw them things.
I can't believe Dan bought you a figurine for me either.
I know, he's a bastard, isn't he? It was the place I saw those things. Yet the place itself was very calm. It was very beautiful. It had never been investigated by anyone before. That happened, and yeah, my life has never been the same since. I can't tell you where the place is. I won't do that to the village. It's not fair. But yeah, it's the place with them things. That's the worst. And I've been in a lot of places, believe me. But that was terrible. So William says his fear is politicians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting worse as well. You just said it out loud. I was typing humans. Yes. So what's Terry's gonna leave? Oh yeah, I'll have your skull. In fact, don't just leave me your skull. I'll have the whole skeleton if that's all right. I'll just stand you up
in there
with Iggy over there.
Iggy.
That's Iggy Pop. That is. So for me, clowns, I shoot you in your pants if I come across them. Nope. Clowns. We all have strange fears and phobias. And if I told you mine, you will laugh. And mine it's a feeling, it's not a thing. And it's the feeling of dry hands.
Yes.
So if I have dry hands, like if I touch chalk or talcum powder, they go dry. I've got to put hand cream on. If I have no hand cream, I spit on my hands. That's how disgusting I am. That's my phobia.
Don't touch my hands at the moment, and they're all dried out with the weather and stuff.
Oh no. Yeah. And it's to do with a past life. I've been regressed to find out why I have that. So yeah.
My phobia is frogs.
Frogs, but Chantel's is jellyfish as well.
Jellyfish.
Frogs and jellyfish. Why don't you like a frog, Jamie?
Don't know. Me and my brother used to terrorise them when we were kids. We used to have a pond, like, I don't know, we used to have a pond next door. And the next garden along. That was there. No one lived there for years and years. And we used to go in the garden and get the frogs out and transfer them to one pond into another.
My next door neighbour has a pond. We're detached properties, and they have a pond, and sometimes they get frog spawn and the frogs.
Yeah.
And then they come into our garden, and then Andy goes out with a lawnmower and he chops them all up.
I'm the same as well at work, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't like them.
Spiders and people who have negative feeling about. Yes, you know that negative feeling, that gut feeling. A lot of people tend to ignore that, and they make a big mistake when they do, because when your guts are telling you something, they're telling you something for a reason.
You need a fart.
Not that kind of. Bloody hell, are you Dan the second? No,
no, I'm joking.
But like, even with Dan, like, he'll sit there and say, "Oh, got a bad feeling about this." I said, "Well, shall we go?" No, we'll stay here. And then bad stuff happens, you know.
You get the gut feeling, yeah.
Definitely. Women, they scare me shitless. So, right. So on tomorrow's show, stomach spiritually. Yes.
What's that?
The stomach is spiritually connected.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow's show on Simply Spooky, we have Paul Rook joining us.
Paul
for
Rook.
A chat.
I haven't met.
Paul Rook. Now, if Dan can't make it tomorrow for any reason, I'm sure Jamie won't mind stepping in and helping out. But if you have any questions, you can put them to Paul tomorrow. I will announce that on Thursday, Ghost Quest are releasing their latest show, which I'm in. I don't know if people have seen on my wall. There is a horrible intro with me. I hate it. But hey,
I haven't seen it.
Is.
I know you was filming with Ghost Quest, but I didn't.
Yeah, so that is released on Thursday on YouTube. So that will be on Ghost Quest. And in a couple of weeks, Striking Midnight are out. Dan is taking us all out, and we will be filming an episode for Striking Midnight. We got lots of great things coming up. Our talk that Dan and I were going to do will be put on hold until he's well enough to come back on, and we will go live together, and we will talk about the multiverse and not past life experiences. What am I talking about? Near-death experiences. Who knows? We might talk about past life as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so hopefully Dan will be back. I used to ignore the gut feeling, then bad things occur. I'm getting better. Good. Listen to them, Von, honestly.
I would.
Yeah. We're batshit crazy, all of us. I've gone past the batshit crazy. I'm just mental.
Yeah.
Chantel. Just mental now.
The people in the white jackets will come and get me soon.
Right. I'm going to end this here. Thank you very much for sharing tonight with us. Once again, everyone in the chat, you've been a fantastic, lovely people. And thank you for joining us. And hopefully you'll be back with us tomorrow on Simply Spooky. If not, it'll be next Tuesday at 7:00 as normal for about an hour and a bit. And hopefully Dan will be back then, bright and breezy, and he can tell you what he's been up to.
What he's been up to, yeah.
But thank you very much, Liz. You're too kind to us, really. Mental is great. You get jackets allowed to hug yourself. The only problem is though, Chantel, I've always wanted a black one, but they always give you white ones.
White ones.
Yeah, I want a black one because white's not my colour. It really isn't.
Bogies.
But anyway, take care, everyone,
See you later,
and
guys.
we will see you next week. And thank you very much, Jamie.
No, you're
Take
very
care.
welcome, Viv. See you later.